What up, guys? Here is my opinion about The Last of Us. The Last of Us 2 is a story-driven experience that has you playing through the game with a couple of different cast members. This game has a lot of cinematic storytelling. In the beginning, the game's tutorial is to walk you through the game with getting familiar with the controls moments. In the beginning, like throwing snowballs with Dina before letting you go on your own. I played through the game on medium because I like to see how the average person would experience the game. Most don't jump into harder difficulties, so replaying the game on on survival difficulty is definitely worth it and it's fun experience. It definitely should do that. I think everybody should play it on survival, but it can be a little bit too difficult. I get it, and I think there are many flashbacks, flash forwards, flash parallels. As the game tries to explain how everyone is intertwined, a lot of tragedy strikes Ellie and the rest of the cast of characters. The game is absolutely beautiful. Cinematography and the background landscapes are no mystery for Naughty Dog. In this particular area, they deserve a 10 out of 10. When it comes to story, this is where everyone seems to have an issue. A lot of my favorite YouTubers hate the story. PewDiePie, Critical. I actually got to listen to Anger Joe. I haven't heard him yet. I don't know if he hates it or not. Oh, I think he hasn't posted it yet. So I'm making this before him, incredibly. That usually it's not the case. I'm going to go on a limb and say it's entirely subjective. I like the story, but I do have a critique. And it's like my critique is pretty much what everyone else is saying too anyways. The story's flashback and flash forwards are annoying. I actually wish you could just play as Ellie and Joel in one sitting and hear their story, and then play as the other girl through their sitting and their story. But I don't know if that would have worked, but I just feel like it could have worked, and it would have been better if they could figured it out somehow and did that. I teared up like about 3 different times, I believe, maybe twice. Maybe I'm exaggerating by 3. And I said like, oh shit, a couple of times. This game is gonna make you like, oh damn, that's crazy. It's gonna say that a couple of times, which is cool. The game makes you feel stuff, which is. I feel like a lot of people are saying they're being cheap about how they get you emotional, when I don't see the difference between how that was the way what happened in the game is cheap versus what happened in the first game. They're both equally as cheap then, in my opinion, but whatever. The game feels like a journey though when you're playing it, and I felt like I could explore everything. Even though the game is linear, I explored everything that I could, and I felt like there was a lot. The controls are similar to The Last of Us 1, so it's easy to get used to. I believe there are a couple of I believe there could have been a couple of improvements, but they would have been small, and it's not a big deal. I'll give the controls about a 7 out of 10. Story is a 7 out of 10 as well. Something about seeing that girl buff was hard to watch, and even harder to see her love. I hated that they didn't capitalize on the side characters. Like, they just, when something happened to them, that was the end of them. You never heard from them again. They built these characters up, and then they let them go. I didn't understand that. That the part really bothered me about this game as well. That's why I didn't get an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. That put me down as well. It's like they were just killed and forgotten. I didn't forget, I won't forget. Music is a 10 out of 10, of course. They brought back Gustavo, and makes sense. I'm happy with that. I don't really got much else to say about that. The game has a lot of brutal scenes, killing animations, drugs, and a lot of harsh language. This game is definitely not a kid's game, So unless you want your kid to have traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, whatever, don't let them play this game. Also, the crawl through a space to jump scare / cinematic sequence was used a bit too much. I don't know if you guys understand when I say it like that, but every time you go through this little hole, something happens, or you're taken over, and this whole sequence happens, and then it's just, I felt like it was used too much in this game. It became predictable, even though a lot of the stuff in this game was predictable, but in a train wreck, can't look away kind of way, you know what I mean? Speedrunning the game and skipping all the cutscenes significantly cuts down the length of the game. And that's when you realize how short this game can actually be. Some things in the trailers are not exactly like in the game, but it's close enough, you know, so I don't think it's going to make too much of a big deal. In the previous Last of Us, you couldn't jump. Now you can jump and swim. New for the game, but nothing new for the crazy world of video games where you can wall run, and every other game you can wall run, fly in the air, all this crazy stuff, so it's not a big deal. This is old technology stuff to us. The gun crafting in-game has been improved, but I wish you can get more supplies in one run to upgrade them all, but I guess they want you to play the game more than once, you know, to get those trophies and stuff. So that sucks, you know, you have to play the game multiple times to get, you know, fully mod out all the guns. 2 boss battles in the game, and the best one is the infected boss. So if you played the game already, you know what I'm talking about. I like that one. I thought it was a really interesting one. I like the design of the character. That was really cool, and I like how they, you know, the sequence of events that happen after you get halfway through it. I like that too. That was interesting how that came about. There's not a lot of replayability, you know, but I hope high quality games like this continue to keep coming out. I think there was like only one glitch in the game that I experienced, which is amazing, but maybe it's because I've been getting shitted on by Bethesda so much that it feels like I'm getting pampered by playing this game. So in conclusion, I think I'm giving this game I'm giving this game an 8 out of 10. This game is an 8 out of 10. It's a beautiful game to see and hear. It's fun gameplay. I mean, it's fun to shoot all the stuff that you see. It's fun. I like it. And the story is good. I think the story is good. It's definitely after it's done and complete, you'll be like, wow, that was crazy. That was crazy. This game is crazy. That's the way I felt. This game is crazy. It's a game you're gonna have to play yourself to really understand what people are saying. Although I disagree with many of my favorite YouTubers, I understand some of their qualms about the game, and it makes me just want to chalk it up to it's not for everyone. So with that said, hope y'all enjoyed the review. What do you guys think? You hate it? You love it? You're indifferent? Let me know in the comments below, and have a great day.